Hello, welcome to the Parsons Air Force Housing YouTube channel. My name is Brandon.Loper. I am a member of the technical team on the Parsons Air Force Housing program. This video will provide a short demonstration of the basic project tracking functions available in the WebPortal Rack and Stack tool. During the Family Housing Master Plan process, Parsons works with air staff and AFCEC to schedule and organize investment and divestiture projects across the FIDEP based on known budget constraints. However, at the conclusion of each master plan, the tables and all planning updates get frozen until the next round of the plan. Historically, interim updates, especially to the budget estimate submission or BEST tables, has been a challenging manual effort. The new project tracking features of the FHMP web portal provide a mechanism to track high-level changes to the program between rounds of the Family Housing Master Plan. By keeping track of changes to the project costs and their execution years, updated master plan and BEST tables can be obtained directly in the web portal. Additionally, when planning decisions change, keeping track of those changes and the reasons for them helps get a head start on the next round of HCPs. During this demonstration, I will show how to edit a project's overall cost and change the program year based on a simulated update to the FHCON budget. But first, a disclaimer. For the sake of this demonstration, I am using our internal testing server to avoid making changes to the current Family Housing Master Plan project data. This testing data should not be expected to match current projects or the budget. So please, view the details as representative only. Okay, let's get started. First, log into the web portal at parsons2.parsons.com/webportal. If you do not have access, please contact our technical team. Contact information and a link to the site will be provided in the notes below the video. When you log in, choose FHMP Web Portal, as this is the dashboard that lets you view the master plan's summary investment information. When you first log in, you will be taken to the Family Housing Master Plan homepage. You can access the various report tables on the right, and you can delimit that information with the exception of the BEST tables by selecting a base or MAGCOM on the left. Access the Rack and Stack with the button at the top right. Note, this button will only appear if the headquarters level USAF node is selected on the left. In the Rack and Stack, you can see all of the projects identified through the various HCPs. The cost of each project will appear in the planned fiscal year. Some projects are recommended during the HCP that cannot be afforded based on the current budget. Those projects appear in the out-year column labeled greater than FY24. Projects are grouped into tabs for FHCON, FHONM Strategic Investment Projects, and FHONM Divestiture. Within each tab, projects can be filtered as needed. A filtered view is identified with a highlight yellow in the filtered column. Costs associated with divestiture are included in the overall O&M budget. Budget bogeys can be entered for both the O&M program as well as the FHCON program. These numbers do not appear in any of the report tables and are provided only as a guide. Now let's make an adjustment to the projected budget. Let's say there is an anticipated cut in FY20, reducing the budget from the Reagan era $280 million to a still quite generous $200 million. Simply click on the text, enter the new amount, and click away from the text. the new total will be calculated automatically. You can see that this results in a $73 million budget shortfall. Something needs to be done. First, there's a budget surplus of nearly $57 million in FY21. So, we can move the Spangdahlem deficit construction project 1 year to the right. To make an edit, click the ellipsis at the far right. It's a little hard to track, but if you click anywhere on a project line, a highlight will appear, making it easier. In the modal box that opens, simply click the new target year. Put in an appropriate description and click OK. Returning to the budget, this is a bit better, but we still have nearly a $20 million budget deficit. I could continue shifting projects around, but for this demonstration, I'm going to try to limit the backlash from the bases and affect as few projects as I can. I look at the overall program, and I see that Okinawa is doing pretty well with 2 projects in 1 year, so I think I can safely reduce one. So I'm going to simulate the removal of roughly 1/3 of the units from the FHMP project by reducing the total project cost to $62 million. To make that edit, again, I click the ellipsis at the right. In the modal box that opens, this time I want to enter the new project cost override, $62 million. Again, I want to provide an elaborate description. I'd like to point out here that you can't go overboard with your descriptions. Click OK, and now we can see that we are within the $200 million budget limitation in FY20. As for the units that fell out, well, if feasible, the rough cost could be added to a future project or even a preceding project. But a new project cannot be created directly in the rack and stack. In its current form, the project tracking functions allow for top-level cost and programming year changes to existing projects only. It's important to keep in mind that these projects defined in the HCP are designed based on many details such as age, unit condition, functional adequacy, grade bedroom mix, even neighborhood cohesion. Splitting or redefining the detailed scope of a project is not possible through the web portal. Those types of replanning efforts will be addressed in the next HCP. Other details, such as planning and design, or AMP requirements, are defined in the master plan process. In those cases, future developments to the tool could allow for some editability. Now that we've made some changes in the program, we want to see the results in the master plan and get updates to the best tables. First, we need to generate all of the tables, so we click the Refresh Calculations button at the upper right. Note, it takes a few minutes to recalculate the entire program, so I'm going to check my email. Okay, the calculations are finished. Before we look at the tables, let me recap the 2 changes that I've made. I pushed the Spangdahlem 99 unit deficit construction project from FY20 to FY21, and I reduced the Okinawa FHMP project from $93 million to $62 million. As you can see here, the original cost shows as a tooltip when you mouse over the amount, and overridden amounts appear blue. To get to the Family Housing Master Plan report tables, simply click the Home button at the top. This takes you back to the Family Housing Master Plan start screen. I'm not going to go through all of the tables, but we'll look at a few key examples. In Table 3.1, military family housing funding requirements, we can see that the total FHCON requirement in FY20 is below the $200 million limitation. In 3.2, we can see that the Okinawa PAPE 15 reflects $62 million, and the Spangdahlem deficit construction 99 units appear in FY21. In the best tables, the FH11 is a little difficult to see because a lot of the details get lost in the roll-up calculations. However, you can clearly see the 99 Spangdahlem units appearing as new construction in FY21. In the FH8, that same project is correctly shown in the override year. Down the road, a question might come up about what changes were made to a project since the HCP or the FHMP, and possibly why. If you go back to the Rack and Stack, you can click on an overridden project name. In the report that opens, you can see all of the project details. Naturally, this lists all the units included in the project along with unit information and cost based on the original project design during the HCP. At the bottom of this report, there's a project change log including all of the changes that have been made to the project since the publication of the Family Housing Master Plan, including the reason the user provided. As you can see, the most recent change is listed at the top of the list. A year or two after changes have been made, you'll really appreciate thorough notes in the changelog. We can see that even before this demonstration, during testing, Kshagra and I had made some edits, even some edits while producing this video. Remember, this is just our test server. This data is not live. And to repeat what I said about project details, unit level details cannot be directly overridden in the web portal. But the overridden cost is clearly identified. There may be times when you want to revert the project year or the cost to the original published master plan, removing some or all of the overrides. In that case, you can find the project's original year at the top of the project details report. Make note of this and close the modal box. To restore the original FHMP program details, from the Rack and Stack screen, go to the project of interest. Click on the ellipse and then set the project to the original year. However, for this mock scenario, I'm going to say that Kadena pushed back on the splitting of their project based on disruption of utility service, but they are fine with the updated year, so I'm going to leave the programmed year alone. To reset the cost, I simply select the overridden cost and press the delete button. As always, I'll provide a description for the change. Again, this is just a demonstration. I don't know if that project includes utilities or not. Finally, click OK. Now the project will appear with its original amount. In this particular case, it needs to be escalated, and you just need to refresh the screen. There we go, $93 million. This reset will also be added to the changelog. An additional feature of the Rack and Stack is the Export to Excel tool. As with most of the web portal tables, you can export the data to Excel, but you will need to export the FHCON, SIP, and divest your tables individually. That just about covers the basic project tracking functions. Although I'd like to give one key reminder. Anytime you make a change in the rack and stack, you have to click the Refresh Calculations button in order to see the updates in the FHMP or best tables. As always, should you have any questions, comments, or suggestions, please don't hesitate to let one of our team members know. This is your tool and we want it to work for you. I'm Brandon.Loper with Parsons. Thank you for watching.